101.3 Nigeria Info. Good afternoon. It's raining cats and dogs out there. I just went out of the studio for a bit, but yeah, we still will be able to have very hot conversations, most especially as it relates to the local government elections in River State. We're live on Facebook. Are we? I think the network is terrible, so I'm certainly we're live on Facebook, but I do believe that we have the conversation up on Facebook, on X, and on I think those platforms, just those platforms. So go drop your comments there in what you think. If you're on social media, you must have seen the topic already: RiSIEC, Rivers LG elections, and the High Courts. Yeah, that's how I tagged it, or that's the topic for today. Once again, I am Kalada Korobatibo. It's my pleasure to have you. Welcome. I will introduce my guest very shortly, but I want to go straight into the nitty-gritty, into the meat of the conversation. Now, a high court in Port Harcourt on Monday ordered the River State Independent Electoral Commission to conduct the forthcoming local government elections in the state using the 2023 voters register. Now, the court also mandated the Nigeria Police Force and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Force to provide necessary protection during the election process. The orders were given by Justice I. Igwe of High Court Number 14 in a case instituted by the Action People's Party against the State Electoral Umpire, the River State government, and the Governor of River State. But same that day, a federal high court in Abuja barred the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) from releasing the 2023 voters register to the River State Independent Electoral Commission. It comes after the High Court judgment or order I just mentioned. Okay, the voters register was. I think the judgment was from Justice Peter Lifu, and he stopped INEC from releasing the voters register to RiSIEC to conduct the local government elections in the state. Now, the court also barred the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetoku, and the Department of the State Services, DSS, from providing security. The suit was brought by the APC. Now, Justice Lifu held that RiSIEC was wrong in fixing the October the 5th as date for the conduct of the poll for the 23 local governments when all relevant laws guiding the election had not been complied with. Joining me to have this conversation is J.C. Williams, Esquire, and I say good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Kalada. Thank you.
All right, welcome. You heard what I read out. To one, an order of court, another a judgment. Can you help us? What is the difference? State High Court gave an order, we've been told. Abuja High Court gave a judgment, we've been told. Because, usually if you sit on this chair, you would hear people make argument. Oh, Canada, it was an order, not a judgment. So can you help us? What's the difference?
When a judgment is delivered, that's what we call enrolled order.
Okay.
Then there is also an order, even when judgment has not been delivered.
Okay.
For instance, when you file a motion, right? Mm-hmm. The court can give an order based on that motion. So, put it so that the layman will understand whether it's order or it's judgment. They are both documents emanating from the courts,
and both have potency.
Both of them has potency. That's correct. You see, but in this case, if you go to section 251 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, you will see the jurisdiction of the Federal High Courts.
Okay.
The matters the Federal High Court, by the authority of the Constitution, should entertain. Now, the question is, does the conduct of local government election by the State Independent Electoral Commission fall under section 251 of the Constitution? The answer is a capital no.
So then I'll ask you the question: did Justice Peter Lifu give a judgment on the local government election, or did he give a judgment on the 2023 voters register?
That is where I'm going to, Canada. He was careful. Most the people that actually went to court and got that judgment, I don't think they really know what that judgment is all about.
Okay, educate us then.
Now, he has jurisdiction. Let me refer you to this. Section 251.
Okay.
251 sub P.
Okay.
You see, the administration or the management and control of the federal government or any of its agencies. That is one, is from A to X.
Okay.
There is no time for us to read.
Yeah.
What am I saying is that the Federal High Court limited its judgment to his area of jurisdiction, which is police is a federal government agency.
Okay.
The DSS is a federal government agency.
Okay.
That was why he ordered that the police and the DSS, the security agencies, should not get involved, should not provide security. That judgment did not stop RiSIEC from conducting election.
Okay. Now, technically, did.
No, I'm coming, Canada. Sorry.
Okay.
But again, even in that order he gave, the primary duty of the police is to provide security.
Okay.
With or without the election. Whether election is coming on, in fact, now there is no election, but police is there to provide security. So that order, what that literally means is that police, if RiSIEC want to conduct election, all of you go and sleep. Don't do your duty, and there is no court that can stop an agency, you understand, from carrying out its statutory duty.
Okay. Now, I'm going to post you now, J.C. Williams, Esquire. You've just mentioned jurisdiction, right? And you've just, agreed that the court did not outrightly stop.
No.
Okay. But when it says the police, for instance, should not participate in that electoral process and INEC should not release the voters register, I've asked these questions before. How important is the voters register and how important is police security? Because I do feel, I think it's in the Electoral Act 2022, I have to remember vividly, it talks about, violence and the roles of security agencies, right? So there is the role of security agencies in the electoral process. So could that be what Peter Lifu, Justice, was, making emphasis to?
You see, first, let me start with the order asking INEC not to release the voters register to RiSIEC. Don't forget that since after 2023 general election, there have not been voters, no review,
continuous
voters, whatever they call it, register. No, nothing like that. So the register, even the INEC is talking about, they have is 2023 register that was used for that election. And Canada, as when I finished my matter in court today, I drove straight to RiSIEC. In fact, I'm coming from RiSIEC now.
Okay.
And you know what? It appeared that RiSIEC knew that a federal high court was going to give this kind of judgment. They had gone long time ago, applied for and obtained the register from INEC.
Okay.
So the order of Milord Lifu is neither here nor here, because the thing you say INEC should not give. INEC has already given.
Now I'm going to come in. So that's one of the questions I want to ask. So I remember the RiSIEC chairman saying, "Oh, we already are taking this a long time ago."
In fact, let me tell you, the voters register is with all the political parties.
Good. But now the next question is, if the court bars INEC, does it then make it illegal, in a legal term or in a legal way? Does it make it illegal for RiSIEC to make use of that document?
You see, Canada, you cannot stop an act that has been concluded. In law, we call it academic. to put in a layman reason that judgment now is not academic, because what he say, don't give.
Okay.
And the person you are instructing not to give have already given.
Okay.
And the receiver have received. What can you stop in the process? Nothing. There is nothing to stop.
But do you think it has any future effects?
No future effects.
Because it could be used,
or negative effect. No.
When I mean effect now, could it be that someone can use all of these things against the process in the future?
You see, that brings us to what I just said. No court can stop an act that has been concluded.
Okay.
This act of releasing and not releasing has been concluded before the judgment ordering INEC. You cannot turn back the hands of the clock.
Okay.
So to that extent, RiSIEC is in receipt of that register. So maybe what they would have done, what the court would have done if the parties knew, is that they would have ordered, court would have ordered, or the parties would have pleaded that court should order RiSIEC to return what they have already collected from INEC. Maybe it would have made sense. Otherwise, he's academic.
All right, we do have a commercial coming up in a bit, but my next question will have to focus on the State High Court that also gave the order that federal agencies. You talked about jurisdiction.
Yes.
Right, so we're going to focus on whether the State High Court
have
has
jurisdiction
got
or not.
Jurisdiction where federal institutions are.
Okay.
So we'll look at that when we do come back from this very quick commercial. Do stay tuned. It is the bottom of the hour. Yes, 4:30 p.m. You're still listening to Hard Facts at 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am yours truly, Kaladakoru Batiban. With me in the studio is JC Williams, Esquire, and together we are looking at the issue, the legal issues related to RiSIEC and the local government elections that, is slated for the 5th of October, this Saturday. Once again, welcome on the show.
Thank you,
JC
Colin. Thank
All right.
you.
So before the break, I was talking about jurisdiction, and I said I was going to ask you if the State High Court also has the jurisdiction to make the order. It did. We talked about NSCDC, the police, and all of that to provide security. Also, ordered the use of INEC's voters register 2023. Remember, that property belongs to INEC, and it's a federal property, so to say. So, what are your thoughts?
Yes. First, the State High Court do not have jurisdiction.
Okay.
To compel a federal government agency, as in this instance. But you see, the primary duty of security agencies, whether it's State High Court or Federal High Court, their primary responsibility is to protect life and property. So, police don't necessarily need court order to do their work. DSS don't need court order to do their work. That is that. Then, on the aspect of the voters register, it's not, even if you say it's a federal government property, the same federal government represented by INEC have released their property to RiSIEC.
Okay.
Long before the Federal High Court judgment, restraining them from releasing same. So, what are we saying? The Federal High Court do not have jurisdiction to stop. Of course, that judgment didn't stop RiSIEC from conducting election. The State High Court do not have jurisdiction to compel or to order a federal agency to discharge its primary responsibility.
Okay.
So police, NCSC, civil defense,
NSCDC,
and NSCDC, all of them, none of them need the order of court to do their work, because election will hold on Saturday. And the police or the security agencies cannot go back to see that because court said.
In law, there's something people call unlawful gathering, right? So if the police is not going to be a party to the election, can the police then define it as unlawful gathering?
No,
like
that police is not involved doesn't make it unlawful. Don't forget that there is order of the State High Court. Okay. The State High Court has jurisdiction over RiSIEC. Okay. And the court has ordered RiSIEC to conduct election. So it's no longer unlawful gathering. It is the order of court that people are gathering. Okay. Now, police, whose primary responsibility is to protect life and property. In fact, let me tell you, whether it's unlawful or not, it is the duty, even when people are doing protests. Okay. Police, by the Police Act and by the Constitution of Nigeria, is expected to give protection to even people who are protesting. So that is the primary responsibility of the police, and they don't need any court order to either restrain them or order them to do so. They have to do their work. What is in issue is that the court that have jurisdiction have ordered RiSIEC to conduct that election, and God so kind, the material they need for that election has been long obtained from INEC. So for the Federal High Court to restrain security agency from doing their work, it is laughable, because there is no court that will tell police, okay, let me not tell you, if somebody commits murder on Saturday, God forbid, police say, no, we will not go do, or there is a the likelihood of violence.
But let me come in again. We've seen special deployments during elections. I mean, not too far away. Most recently in Edo State, we saw the a massive deployment or redeployment, if that's the word, to Edo State of police officers. We saw that in Rivers State in 2023 during the election. So there usually is that attitude, and once again I'm going to take us back to the Electoral Act of 2022, which allows for that, massive redeployment or deployment of police officers. And if that is the case, if that is not done by the police, will that not affect? Yes, it's the police, it's the right of the police. I'm going somewhere.
Yes.
It's the right of the police to maintain peace and order and secure a locality. But when a lot of people are gathering, it also behoves on the police or whatever institution to ensure that there is enough security personnel in that vicinity or in that locality. So if this order says do not provide enough, it's not stopping them
Is
from
it Canada? Let me just tell
it's
you.
not stopping them from doing their
Let
work.
me tell you something.
Okay.
On the scale of 1 to 10, if you ask Nigerians if they actually need police during the election,
Okay.
9 will tell you they don't need police.
Okay.
You just started Edo State. You can see the aftermath of that election. What is coming out of the activities of the security agency? Well, that's by the way. But the point is, police is by law there to protect life and property.
Okay.
Whether deployment, like you said, the one is all that kind of heavy deployment of police. That is an election conducted by RSIEC, not RiSIEC. That is, I don't know where you stand. That is, now, in this case, meanwhile, the police commissioner have submitted, I was reliably informed, have submitted even names of the police people that will participate in this election because it's their duty. They don't need order of court to do their duty. They don't need that.
They have submitted names of people who
The police officers that will get involved in Saturday's election.
But there's a court order saying they should not be involved.
That's what I'm telling you. You see, court order say don't get involved.
What do you think the IGP will do at this point as a lawyer?
Well, you see, IGP, I don't want to talk about him.
No,
I don't want to talk about what he will do because he has even done what he's not supposed to do over time with Rivers State. I don't want to go there.
Let's not look at other. Let's look at this very one. What do you think? Because the IGP.
What IGP? Okay, let me answer you.
Is the one in charge of the police.
Let me answer you straight away. If he wouldn't turn his eyes to other things, if he has to do the work of policing, the work of police is to protect life and property, whether election is going on or election is not going on.
Okay, let's put it this way. Do you agree that the police, I mean, we're here, but the police is not here, right?
Yes.
If something is happening right now, we would have to call the police. But
if you chooses to, if you can't handle it yourself.
Exactly the point. But if it were an election, it will be it will be the responsibility. It's something that the police will be saddled with to be in the studio with us while we conduct the election. So yet again, the question is, what do you think the IGP will do? Do you think it will give us the security that we need? That we desire?
Canada, like I said earlier, he is supposed to. But let me tell you,
okay,
the truth is that we are Nigerians.
Okay, I
said before, what does police actually do during the election, if not to cause more problem? With due respect to them. Because we hear, this has happened here, police was there watching. But I'm not saying that they shouldn't, whether they do their work or not. Their presence is okay. They have to do except they are telling us that police no longer have the responsibility to protect life and property because Rivers State wants to do election. Their duty, no court. Can I imagine where a court gets up to say, National Assembly, don't sit again. I restrain you, don't sit again. Is it possible? But because the National Assembly don't make laws again. Their primary responsibility, why people voted, why they are being paid with taxpayers' money, is to make law. The primary responsibility of the police, why they are being paid with taxpayers' money, is to protect life and property. So no court will restrain them from protecting life and property.
Okay, now let me put a twist to this. But a court can say the law you have made is wrong, right? A court can say,
yes,
this issue, you didn't go about it the right way.
Yes.
So could it be a similar thing that is happening with this order or judgment of justice? That's one. Two, let's look at this from another legal angle. So you've given a very good point. You've said the State High Court is in charge, or not in charge per se, but it has jurisdiction
over
RSIEC. So if those on the other side of the fence who do not want the local government election to hold decide to go to a court of appeal and find a stay of execution, does that put a hold on the election?
You see, Canada, issue of jurisdiction is key in legal proceedings. A court have said, go, that is order of mandamus.
Okay.
Do what you are asked to do. Do why this is why you are here.
Okay.
This is why you are appointed. This is why this agency was established, is to conduct state election. It's order of mandamus. And I wonder any court in the world that will say no.
But let's
don't do your function anymore.
Let's say, because you keep saying you can't stop, I'm just saying, let's say they go to court. We're learning on the show.
Yes.
And we're trying to get the facts. Let's say they go to court and the court grants a stay of execution on what the state high
election
court
should
order.
hold.
Yeah. Should not hold, rather. The elections should not hold.
Yeah, it's possible.
So the elections will not hold.
That's correct. Judgment is judgment until set aside.
Interesting.
If Court of Appeal comes to say, order of Honorable Justice IPC Igwe should be set aside, so be it. But as we speak today, that is the law. That is the judgment, and it must be obeyed.
And some people may think I'm notorious, but I'm just looking at it from a lot of what ifs. So the election holds on Saturday. What if? And then someone goes to Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal rules in the person's favor or against the election. Does it make the
that is another thing?
Does it make the election an academic exercise?
If this election is conducted on Saturday, and afterwards somebody goes to appeal that judgment, even if you get that judgment, it becomes academic, because it cannot stop what has been concluded.
Interesting.
Whoever that wants to go to appeal has between now and Friday.
If
the election is conducted on Saturday, of course he trusts Nigerian system. That same Saturday evening they will be sworn in, and somebody is going to appeal a judgment that has been concluded. What are you stopping? It's academic. It's academic. So anybody whose interest is to stall this election has between now and Friday to do so.
And that's going to be a very Herculean task.
Well, in Nigeria, we are watching.
Because from my conversation with you, the only way that we have been able to look at it is a stay of execution from a court of appeal to the State High Court's order. That's the only way. How possible is that going to be? Because you've also argued that you will be stopping, the order of mandamus.
Yes. That's why, see, Canada, if we look at the law the way it is, there is no judge in Court of Appeal that will say an order of mandamus should be stayed. You know what it means? You are in this studio. Why you are being paid is that you should do what you're doing now. And somebody goes to court to say, do this job you are hired to do. How does it sound?
Okay, now let me come in now. Justice Lifu pointed out to processes not followed. He berated RiSIEC.
Don't go far. Let me even answer you
for not following the right.
Let me answer you. Does he have jurisdiction?
No. He did. Sometimes you lawyers tend to touch on matters that are legal. So we're not talking about whether he had jurisdiction or not. But I'm saying, can that be taken up? The processes not being followed and used against the election if it does hold?
That is the point. As far as the Federal High Court is concerned.
No, we're not talking Federal High Court now. We're saying someone goes to a State High Court and establish. No.
If someone goes
your party member, Tony Okocha, is in court with his faction.
I was even coming to say something.
I'm going there. I'm going there with his faction of the APC, and they are saying that the processes have not been followed.
Yeah.
So what if they argue correctly? Court is about argument and evidence. What if they have all of that?
Let me even answer you, because you have mentioned Chief Tony Okocha. Do you know that the National Working Committee of APC is not a court of competent jurisdiction.
Okay.
A court of competent jurisdiction have reinstated the Chief Emeka Beke's led ESCO. Let me even tell you the funny part of it. The same Chief Emeka, you may be aware, Chief Emeka Beke led ESCO of APC Rivers State have written to INEC that Chief Tony Okocha and his friends are not known to law. Meanwhile, there is a judgment of the Rivers State High Court reinstating them. That is to tell you that even the judgment of the Federal High Court, where Tony Okocha and co are the plaintiff, is even dead because they are not known to law. But that's what it means.
See, you know, the thing with the
national party, I mean, what they call NWC, have decided to recognize them in Abuja. Doesn't make them the ESCO of the party in the state.
But you see, that's what the problem is. You know, Rivers drama, I like to call it, it's usually
it's helping to widen our jurisprudence. You know, it's helping us.
It is confusing for the layman. It's helping your career and the other lawyers, but for us, it's confusing us and it's annoying us sometimes. You're saying the National Working Committee does not have a right, but the National Working Committee is arguing that they have a court case or a court judgment that does not recognize Emeka Beke, actually suspended Emeka Beke, and is it the secretary or is it the legal advisor of the legal advisor of the party? So you see, these issues
that national NWC.
Yes.
You see the word they use, suspend. They didn't say dissolve, and that was what the Rivers State High Court corrected. Say reinstate them because by your constitution, the constitution of your party, what these are supposed to be followed, and let me tell you, you know, even the claimant in that suit, Eferebo, the deputy chairman, have come to say no. What you people at national is saying is not what was before the court. I have even withdrawn. You know, it's a very complicated. So what am I saying is that even the judgment of Lifu, where Tony Okocha and co are the plaintiff, is already dead on arrival because the law does not recognize them as the rightful people to have even gone to court.
Okay, let's take some.
And that's why the Emeka Beke group has written to INEC, written to National, and INEC have honored them and said, look, you are recognized in the state. That's why some APC people are contesting this election.
All right, let's let's look at what the listeners would say as it relates to this. What do you think should be RiSIEC's best move? I mean, Saturday is what, a couple of days away.
I told you I was at RiSIEC.
Yes, you said.
I got there. They were addressing, the chairman and his committee members were addressing the ad hoc staff.
So from your legal perspective, the election should go on Saturday.
Election will go on.
Not will. I mean, RiSIEC has given us assurance, but I'm asking you personally: should it or should it not?
It should go on.
It should go on.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Let's try this. I'd like to hear from you. What do you think should be the best move by RiSIEC now? And the lawyer in the studio says it should hold the election, that is, should hold on Saturday. RiSIEC should go ahead and conduct. RiSIEC is in a very fine position to hold the election. No legal huddle, no legal. I mean, we've asked this question like 1,000 times, but we're just making sure that the right things are being done. Remember, this is hard facts, and we're following the facts, right? So I'd like to get your thoughts. You know how it is. You know the drill. The phone lines are terrible. I hear it's been terrible all morning, all afternoon, and now I'm here. So let's get your thoughts and let's see what you're thinking, what your opinion is on this very issue. Should RiSIEC go ahead given? I mean, my guest just said both judgments, or both, one an order, one a judgment, were not really, you know, they didn't really. I mean, first, the State High Court does not have jurisdiction over federal agencies, right? Secondly, the Federal High Court does not have jurisdiction over a state agency, and the Federal High Court cannot tell the police and other security agencies not to do their work. So it's a very confusing order and judgment from both courts. So it may not necessarily bind, which means it does not really affect the conduct of election. So that's my understanding. But let's get yours. Let's hear what your take is. This one says the Bolekaja judgment or order from Abuja High Court cannot stand. On the Port Harcourt High Court order, we stand. The election will hold come this Saturday. Meanwhile, the voters registered at the court in Abuja purportedly stopped has been obtained by RSIEC months ago. Stopping it now amounts to shutting the stable after the horse had bolted. We are now at a point of no return. Those who want to place Rivers State on the backward march to primitivity will surely fail. Saturday, RiSIEC. All right, Saturday, thank you. This one says, the question you just asked, I guess, is a very important point. The government should do everything to avert a case like that coming up. Please, I foresee where the desperate politicians may go to court to get an injunction or stop the election on Friday night. Just thinking aloud. Ima Otaka in Choba. Is it possible for the government to stop any such case? If for instance, I'm aware that my opponent is going to court, can I go argue against an ex parte order?
No, you can't get a stay by just filing ex parte. You don't obtain a stay.
Okay, so how do you get a stay?
You will file an appeal and then file your motion for stay. The other council will be notified.
Oh, so
it's not an expectation.
So the other council will
you
argue.
will serve him.
Okay.
You will serve him.
So that means it's going to be really a daunting task.
We are waiting and watching.
All right, let's come here. So Ima Otaka, my guest just answered your question. Your thought is going to be a daunting task. This one says, greetings to you, Nigerian Phil. If I may ask, those saying that local government elections should not be done and the Federal High Court is trying to give an order to stop the scheduled conduct of the election while Supreme Court has given a judgment with respect to local government autonomy and having an elected head of the local government within 90 days, and Rivers State is one of the states trying to obey and meet up the ultimatum, does it mean that some of the learned friends do not understand the law? Or does Justice Lifu, I know you don't do that, but I'm going to skip that. You said Justice Lifu, is it trying to upturn or fault the Supreme Court judgment? Why are they belittling the image of our judiciary? They are just minorities, so I wonder who used to advise them on all these illegalities. They should allow the state governor or governor to make or move the state forward and stop all this. All right. This one says, greetings. Saturday's local government election is sacrosanct, and Commissioner of Police has assured the state that his men are fully prepared for the local government election. Police do not need court order to protect the citizens. The election on Saturday is sacrosanct, and we're ready to vote candidates of our choice. The Federal High Court judgment is dead on arrival. However, they didn't say elections shouldn't take place. I mean, that we are very certain of now. They did not say elections should not take place. Nicholas Erasmus. And this one says, there's nothing that RiSIEC can do than go ahead with their constitutional duty of organizing the forthcoming local government election. As a matter of fact, no law should be against this move. Tony Okocha and Co. and the court in Abuja are just agents of darkness. No, I shouldn't have read that. But let's not do that. Let's talk constructively, please. Please ask your guest, since he had once... ask your guest, since he said once they're sworn in, it becomes academic and they can be removed. My question is, what about governor that has been sworn in but Supreme Court still removed based on uncertainty? That's when you're tackling the electoral matter.
Post-election.
That's post-election, right? You're talking about what happened during the election, but this is pre-election matter, yeah? So let's see. This one says, good evening. It seems like you ask your questions with the expectation that the election should not hold. Shouldn't we be tired of a few people causing trouble for a majority? Elections will hold. Go out and vote on Saturday. I mean, I'm doing my job. But I was going to ask you a question. You just kicked my head now based on this last...
Supreme Court...
number one, Supreme Court, given that order, should a Federal High Court be dabbling with similar issues, given that the Supreme Court has said go...
You see, right away... Honorable Justice Leaf did not say election should not hold. He was careful to that extent.
Okay.
Based on what was before the court, what was before him, what the plaintiff brought before him is that certain procedures, you understand, before election should, I mean, that the RiSIEC didn't follow certain procedures before. It was what was before him that informed his judgment. And even at that, he didn't say election should not, because there is no high court, not even court of appeal, that would want to sit on appeal on Supreme Court judgment.
All right, I've got to go. My time is up. I have several other questions I want to ask you, but let's end it there for now. Do stay tuned. More conversations coming your way here on 90.3 Nigeria Info. The news update is up next.
We'll be right back.